What's going on, everybody? Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another episode of Unscripted. I'm here with my buddy, my colleague, my partner in critique.
Yes, not crime.
More partner in critique. Yes, indeed.
Yes, I like that.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to get a T-shirt made up.
I like it. Partner in critique, man. Very,
Yes.
very nice. Bill Apter, how are you, my man?
I'm good. You know, I'm out of town right now.
You're on vacation, man. Yes.
No. I'm on assignment.
An assignment.
I'm on assignment. Yeah.
On assignment.
Well,
Yes.
I'm on assignment regarding our trip to Detroit coming up in August at SummerSlam, with some things you and I are going to be involved in. And I had some really intense meetings today.
Okay.
That I'm not free to talk about on the air.
Okay. Very nice, man. Very nice. Making some moves, man.
We always are on Sportskeeda. By the way, there's something bothering me.
What's that?
I was watching Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
Even when I'm on the road, I watch Monday Night Raw, AEW, SmackDown. I watch them all. And I don't know if you have gotten this feeling, but is the Judgment Day stealing the Bloodline storyline?
It does see there's a little bit of borrowing, so to speak. I would say probably more of the stealing category when it comes to Judgment Day and Bloodline. It makes it seem like a great value version of the Roman Reigns Bloodline storyline. There's the Roman Reigns Bloodline storyline is among the top 10 best storylines in WWE history.
Absolutely.
And going simultaneously with Judgment Day, it just feels so much different, so much less quality than the Bloodline right
now. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's anything that's going to equal the Bloodline for a long time, but I just, you know, the direction that Judgment Day is going with Finn and Damian Priest, and it smoothed over for a little bit, but that's what was going on with the Usos and the head of the table too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wish that they were a little bit more innovative when it came to the Judgment Day storyline. At least give it a little bit more time running concurrent with the Bloodline. I'm not sure if that was the best. Maybe
that's been bothering me.
Yeah, maybe Raw was jealous of the Bloodline being so well, and they were like, "Yeah, let's just throw the Judgment Day, on Raw because let's have our own version of dissension in the rankings."
That is a possibility.
Yeah,
that is a possibility.
Yes,
so, what's been going through your mind this week?
Well, of course, man, for some odd reason, the super chat option is still not. People are still saying, "Hey, what's up with the super chat?" I mean, come on, let's get the super chat option together ASAP because this is not good. But we will peek over there. We will peek over here for questions.
We've got right here. Oh, if I can find this right, super chat.
Super chat, very nice.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is we are going to talk about, it's unscripted, but there is one thing that's per request, and of course it's unscripted. So go ahead and tweet me at Chris Prolific. Tweet after at after
One Wrestling.
After One Wrestling. So you can tweet me at Chris Prolific or tweet Bill at After One Wrestling. If you want a head start is the word I'm looking for. If you want a head start, tweet us, and that can give us a head start on what you want to hear of us talking about throughout the week. So,
by the way, there's another thing here that I have in mind. Did you hear about Drew McIntyre?
What happened to Drew McIntyre?
Well, nothing bad, but he's now. It's come out that he's going to be involved in Dave Bautista's next film.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, boy, he has that great look about him that make him another major star in the genre of Hollywood.
Yeah. I agree, man. Very, very much so. So I'm trying to get in touch with someone, but he looks like he's laying low. There's some big news. Texted him. Some big news going on with someone as far as a release. So trying to get some information in here beforehand. A lot of those people want to just lay low for a minute, but we'll see. Maybe I'll get some information beforehand, and maybe I'll exclusively release it here soon. But I've got both of us have a huge Rolodex of numbers when it comes to. Yeah. So I was texting the person, and we'll see where it goes. All right, go ahead, Bill.
No, I wondered this whole thing that's going on with Matt Hardy.
Yes, that's what
Jim Cornette is getting kind of out of hand, I think.
So, do you want to give the skinny on the story for those who don't know what's going on right
now? Well, basically, it's been just back and forth between Cornette sounding out on Matt Hardy, being friends with the Young Bucks and Hangman Page, and kind of saying, they're cool guys. It's great hanging out with them. And Cornette going like, my God, you must be doing really like poorly to be in that side of AEW. And it's going back and forth. Now we know that Jim Cornette was a photographer for our magazines and other magazines forever. And I've known him forever. He's really a great guy. He really is, but he's controversial. He likes to stir up the SH. He really does.
Yes, indeed.
He does. And Matt Hardy is kind of feeding right into this. So my opinion on this whole thing is that this will sound crazy, but it's good for both of them. They're both breaking the internet.
Yes, indeed.
All this stuff. What do you think?
It's I think it's both of them are older gentlemen, and Jim Cornette's probably 15, 12 years older than Matt Hardy, and
probably
old enough to be his big brother / maybe even an uncle, right? So Matt Hardy is let's Matt Hardy was born in 1974, so he'll be 49 in September. All right. So Jim Cornette's let's see. Jim Cornette was born in 1961, September 1961. So Jim Cornette is 13 years older than Matt Hardy. All right.
Okay.
So 48 and 52, I mean 62, 48 and 62 respectively. All right. 48, 62. So here's my thing. I am a big advocate of really of the economy of words and budgeting energy wisely. All right. I'm a huge fan of that, of a huge component of budgeting energy wisely. And I think that this whole thread is a total waste of energy that could have been spent elsewhere. That's my
Well, you know, like I said, Cornette likes to stir up controversy. He really does. And Matt
Hardy, all
Hardy,
about living the gimmick, man. He's all about living the gimmick.
Yeah, and Matt Hardy's feeding right into it. But again, it's putting them both out there on the map. I mean, it's just like the days with the magazines when people would say, no matter what we wrote about them, anything to get their name in ink to get out there.
Yeah.
So, and Corny, you know, I love his podcast. It's great, but he's always knocking something.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know, it's there's a, I don't believe all pub is a good pub, you know, and especially when you have two well-established, you know, names in the pro wrestling business. Both Jim Cornette and Matt Hardy are both well-established. They don't need any more.
Sure.
So I think at this point, because of the influx, because of social media being so heavy and being so popular, with two very popular names in the pro wrestling business, I think you have to protect your brand, and I don't think there's a need for either one of them to have a negative publicity with them now. I don't think Cornette really cares, but I do think I do think that he should, honestly. I mean, I do think that it's, you know, it really helps someone's in the long run of being a class act, man. So you know, it's one of those things.
Do you think, just while we're talking about Matt Hardy and AEW, now that CM Punk's been there for a few weeks, it's almost dependent upon him to raise the rankings, the ratings rather. In there. And some of the shows that he hasn't been on have been doing okay. What's your take on that? Do you think it's leveling off already?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, they lost about 130,000 viewers. They went from, well, actually nearly no. They went from about 816 to like 450 something. So about a little over 150,000. Well, 350,000 viewers, or so within 3 weeks. So going from 816 to 450 some odd. And I mean that's within a 3-week span. And CM Punk is the resident collision guy. You know, he's the collision guy. They brought him in to really spearhead this show. And the anticipation for CM Punk, I mean, it generated. I mean, he can still draw. Clearly, I mean, he drew, you know, over 800,000 people. But at the same time, it's like if you're booking the show just for CM Punk's sake, and there's still not a lot of intrigue, you know, people are going to drop off. And I mean, that's what they did, man. I mean, like he was promoting a match for, you know, the tournaments, you know, for Forbidden Door. You know, I mean, he was in an 8-man, and you know, he just recently did Samoa Joe, a match with him. The angle was he's never beat Samoa Joe before. I mean, that's not really a strong angle to bring people.
If you were back in the Ring of Honor when they met so many times, due to sensational matches. But I also wonder about Collision, because the time that they're on, the hour that they're on. A lot of people, especially during the summertime, maybe DVRing it.
Oh yeah.
They're not around, and I'm wondering if, in the traditional sense, would it be too late if it was instead on at 6:05, like the old Georgia Championship Wrestling, WCW, was on? Because that's, to me, tradition still has a lot to do with this.
I like the 6:05 idea. The WCW Saturday night, and as Dusty Rhodes would say when he would host that, we go into the pay window, baby.
That's right, baby. If you will.
If you will. All right, let's see here. Lynn is making a really good point. When I think he said that wait till college football starts, it will hurt them bad. I agree with that 100%.
Say that again. I didn't hear that.
Wait until college football starts is going to hurt them bad. I agree.
100%.
100%. And I am an avid college football fan, as many know.
It's not on my map.
Well, that's too bad, man, because I respect that, but college football all day, every day, twice on Sunday. I am a college football fanatic. Yeah, college football grossly supersedes pro wrestling to me, because especially, college football period, but specifically Ohio State. I'm a Ohio guy.
Yeah, you're hosting a pro wrestling sports entertainment show here.
I am, because I've been a pro wrestling journalist for over a decade now. So I'm well established in the world of professional wrestling. I wrote for Sports Illustrated, Fox Sports Pro Wrestling. Although I did do some college football stuff for Bleacher Report, but it was it's an Inquisitor too. I wrote college football stuff, but wrestling is what I started my journalism career, and currently journalism, as far as podcasting, and this is home to me. So it's all good, man. It's all good, especially with the legendary Bill Apter, man. Who would turn down that, man? Come on.
I was drafted. So let's go back to the Judgment Day. They're on NXT.
Yeah.
Now, I like that WWE is sending some of their major stars to NXT, because I think it puts more eyeballs. But I did mention something to some of the producers of NXT. I said, if I don't recognize some of these guys, what they need to do is similar to what boxing does. Throughout the entire fight, usually it'll say, Jose so-and-so blue trunks, Michael so-and-so green trunks, and you know who's who. They need to find a way to do that at NXT, because when you're channel turning and you stop at it, and even, I've talked to people in NXT and they're like, well, we don't know who some of these guys are.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Like I said, man, we talked about this a little bit of a couple weeks back. I mean, black and yellow NXT. After that, I just lost interest, man. The rebrand.
Well, why? What did you lose interest?
Rebrand was okay, but they just really stopped highlighting a lot of wrestlers that came from the indies. It became more of a homegrown feeder system. You know what I mean? My thing was, I enjoy NXT. It felt like an alternative brand when they were bringing people like Finn and Shinsuke and Sami Zayn and Samoa Joe and Bobby Roode and Drew McIntyre. Like when they were bringing all of those names, even James Storm for a hiccup, he was there for a little bit.
Yes.
When they were bringing those people in NXT, it felt like an alternative brand. Now it feels like a feeder system, because to your point, there's a lot of those names that a lot of people don't know. Right. And so when they get to the main roster, people still don't know them. And so, again, a third of the people who watch Raw watch NXT. So you can't assume that 2/3 of the people who don't watch NXT knows who this person is, who you just like. For instance, JD McDonough, for instance. you brought him to the main roster, already fizzled out because he came in, he had a few video packages, he had some backstage stuff. Dolph Ziggler's the utility guy, Dolph Ziggler makes anyone look good. And so he barely had something with him. And, he just kind of fizzled out because again, 2/3 of the people who watch NXT, 2/3 of the people don't watch NXT. So you don't know who it is. You got to do a better job understanding these people. Whereas when it was an alternative brand, if a Drew comes up, if a Joe comes up, like you don't have to do a lot of work with exposing this to the fans.
Well, the other thing is, for example, when Grayson Waller came out and they gave him that whole segment, I was like, I've seen the guy in NXT a few times, but who the heck is this guy that they're just all of a sudden making the greatest talk show host in the entire world?
Yeah.
And they're running with it. And it just doesn't seem to fit.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you 100%. I think that they just need to, but the problem is the mentality is if you're going to market as a feeder system, okay, do that. But at the same time, really highlight these names that are coming up. It's the same thing as like if a AAA person from baseball go to a single A, like you can't expect people to know who this person is. At the same time, you can highlight this person of like, okay, yeah, we need to put be sure some eyes get on this person because this person is really good. You need to spend the time highlighting this person to, for eyes to be on him. You can't assume that people know who the person is.
Exactly.
Because that person is susceptible to phase out, based on only a third of people knowing him. So, or her.
That's why the Grayson Waller thing totally, the first week I saw, again, I saw him on NXT. I didn't watch NXT a lot. And it was like, why are they making this guy such a big to do with this guy when I don't think a lot of people know who he is?
Yeah, agreed. Just spend more time, highlight again. If you want to make it a feeder system, that's okay. I mean, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. Just spend more time highlighting the people coming up, as opposed to don't have the mentality of NXT is still an alternative brand when it's not now. It's more of a feeder system. It's not an alternative brand. It's a feeder system. So
another major thing going on here, and even though I'm on the road and I don't know exactly what show this will be, but I do understand that WWE is going to be doing a major event in Chicago, which is Tony Khanville, so to say.
Okay.
And a lot of people are going like, are they doing this on purpose? Because AEW runs so much in that town. Do you think that the WWE is now kind of getting like, well, if these guys are here, maybe we need to up our ante in that town, because Chicago's become a pretty big AEW stronghold?
Yeah. I do think so, but I think that that's kind of playing on the defense now in a sense.
Yes.
WWE, and I don't think they need to do that. I don't think it's necessary. Okay, if AEW wants an opportunity to be in Chicago, you don't have to play on the defense and do these things like when John Cena did kind of like the focus group promo that he did at the pay-per-view with as far as London and WrestleMania and stuff like that. I definitely think that has something to do with AEW going to Wembley.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I don't think that's necessary though. I mean, like competition, it creates a sense of wanting to go down to the extra reservoir, basically the reserve, and get that extra sense of competitiveness from you.
But they're a business. They're a business.
Absolutely.
Business competes with business, and WWE, the only way that they could break that attendance record would be an entire weekend of WrestleMania in England. Yeah.
And I think that that's a great idea. I'm messaging. I'm trying to get some information here. I'm messaging with a person here, a recent release. All right, so yeah, I okay, cool. Yes, competition. I'll give you that. But at the same time, if you're subtly acknowledging the competition of AEW, it's making AEW feel like legitimate competition.
Oh yeah,
Honest with you, they aren't, because AEW gets about 800K, 7 to 800K at this point, about 800K a week. Raw still at 100,000 more than that.
But is it the TV? Is it the TV? Is it the TV saturation that does that? Because USA Network is in more homes than where AEW is in.
TNT and TBS, their average viewers are still pretty high too.
Yeah, okay.
Especially compared to USA.
But now, if you look at Endeavor, looking at this now, we've just pretty much so. And well, who are these AEW guys? What's going on? What are we doing to make sure that we have the foothold everywhere in England and the United States and all that? So it really, this thing with Chicago just kind of put that in my mind. And then the thing with John Cena, like you said, at Money in the Bank, coming out of nowhere, and they couldn't have had anyone better do it.
I do agree with that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's interesting because let me see, most watched channels. Let me see, because I'm looking at a couple of.
I love how Chris is such a stat guy.
I love stats. I love stats and trivia, man. Yeah, I love it, man. It's great. Yeah. So I mean, like you said, I think John Cena is the one to do it. I mean, I agree with that. I mean, if there's anyone who can do it and fly to London, it's certainly John Cena. That's for sure. To push it. Let me see. USA Network is as far as most watched, they're at 738,000 viewers.
Okay.
And you have let me see, TNT is let's see, TNT, so number 20th, and they're number as far as the 18 to 49 demo, they're at number 7.
Okay.
183,000 as opposed to USA.
How many households are they in? That's
I'm gonna put that out in a minute. Let's see, there's 965,000. So they're higher. They're higher than USA is.
Wow.
So,
wow.
965,000 viewers as far as most watched. TNT is number 13 as for last year, and then USA was whatever I just said just a moment ago. So they were number 13, and USA really quick is number 20.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So their TNT's at about 200 and almost 230,000 more viewers. So, I mean, so AEW actually has a wider, a bigger base. You know what I mean? And still, and so there's no excuse at this point. Compared to Raw.
Absolutely. I got the. I mentioned this last week, but I got an advanced copy of the Todd Gordon book, Todd is God. Mm-hmm. And it's become, I'm about halfway through with it. And some of the stuff that Todd says about Sandman and Taz and especially Paul Heyman are very riveting to see the way that started that relationship and how it kind of went to hell, later. Were you a big ECW fan?
I was huge. Yeah, I was a huge ECW fan, man. Absolutely. Yeah. I became a Chris Jericho fan in ECW. I became a Taz fan in ECW, Tommy Dreamer. I knew about Raven before ECW. Actually, I remember when he was Johnny Polo and Johnny Flamingo.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a terrible gimmick.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. He managed the Quebecers back then.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
so I remember that beforehand. I remember he was in Global. Actually, he was a
Yes.
color
Yep.
commentary, a color commentator in Global. So
remember.
I remember that. So the transition to Raven from Johnny Polo and Johnny Flamingo, like it was a huge difference. And I was like, man, this is like, if you want to talk about like a radical change, there's a lot of lists, out there as
Totally.
far as, there's a lot of list articles and videos and stuff like that for, if there was an article or video of wrestlers who made radical transformations in character, Raven would definitely be one of those, because coming from Johnny Polo to Raven was just like night and day.
Yeah, it's like at the top of the list.
Yeah, absolutely.
There.
All right, we're gonna head on out. Let's do it. Let's do a lightning round. Let's do a lightning round for 2 minutes. All right, let's do 2-minute lightning round. Here we go. What do you remember about Savage's 2 WWF World Championship reigns? And go.
What do I think about it?
Yeah, what do you remember about most of it?
Oh, just the royalty of he and Elizabeth just being around in the ring, and he was over so well. He created a different air in WWE back then, WWF. He had his own thing going, and he made such a great statement just by being Macho Man Randy Savage.
All right. Do you think Jey Uso could legitimately defeat Roman Reigns at SummerSlam?
Oh, legitimately? We're talking about a shoot match?
I guess realistically, if I could.
Realistically, I don't think it's going to happen. And if it does happen, I think that Damian Priest is going to be there to challenge.
Interesting. That wouldn't be too bad of a transition, although
not bad. But I think Damian Priest was going to happen, and it's probably not. But Finn's going to somehow win the title from Seth Rollins, and Damian's going to pin Finn.
Sure, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, but it'll probably be just a quick, Finn win and lose again. Yeah,
and back to Roman.
Yep. Is the heat between Jim Cornette and Matt Hardy a work or a shoot?
I think it's a shoot. I think both of them are strong enough personalities where they're both. I know them both really well. I think it's a shoot.
Nice. Quick opinion on LA Knight. Does he need a belt?
Oh yeah. Does he need a belt? No, but don't bury him. It's almost like, they're just having him lose to, I don't know what the issue is with them, but I'm a huge supporter of LA Knight. He should have won the money, I think. Nothing against him. I love him. But the fans wanted to see LA Knight go over, and he should have.
I like Priest as the option. I think LA Knight should go against Theory at SummerSlam.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
And finally, who's your pick to eventually dethrone Rhea Ripley?
Wow, I don't think it's either Charlotte Flair or someone who doesn't exist currently that we know about.
Oh, I do not want Charlotte Flair to once again take that role, man. I think someone should definitely be built up to take it away from Rhea.
Yeah, but I don't know who that is yet.
They're probably, EO probably against Asuka. But as far as just someone, I think they should really build up Raquel Rodriguez, man. I really think Raquel versus Rhea would be a really good match. And Raquel is bigger than Rhea. She's taller than Rhea. And she's really one of the only people in the back that actually looks more intimidating than Rhea Ripley is.
Well, they could put it on Bailey and create a whole lot of controversy with that.
Yeah, it's I want new, I want fresh. I mean,
I know, but like I said, whoever that is, maybe she's at NXT or whatever. I don't think that person's there yet.
I think Raquel is
on someone established.
I think Raquel is. I think Raquel. I've said this to people in conversations. I think Raquel Rodriguez can be the next Batista. I think she can. I think that she can be booked as the next Batista, if they book her right, because she has the look. If she wants to be that killer baby face like Batista was for a lot of his career, I think that they could do that if they book her right. And I think I would be totally in for that. So
yeah, like I said, I haven't. I think she's terrific, but I don't see that in her yet.
her NXT run was really good. I think that, see, it goes back to the main roster. I think the main roster booking a lot of times don't allow people to really shine the way that they should. Because Rhea Ripley Raquel Rodriguez was almost night and day, even as a babyface, almost night and day to what she was in NXT. Man, she was a killer in NXT. And now she's just some smiley face.
Right.
You know
right.
I mean?
It's not the same. When she first came into the main roster, I said, this girl's got it.
Yeah.
But as the weeks went on, I wasn't too sure about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully they can build her up and kind of reset her and build her up for Mania against Rhea. I definitely find Raquel and Rhea at Mania.
Or they bring Alexa Bliss back.
That's another one who I just don't want. I don't want to get back to just Alexa, Bailey, Charlotte. Like I want new blood. I want a new.
Well, she would be new blood coming back right now because she's off people's radar.
Yeah, that's going back to the well that you want a fresh well. That's just
okay.
It's just old. We've seen Alexa Bliss before within years. So I think
entitled to our own unscripted thoughts
because it's unscripted. Yes, indeed.
Exactly.
I do think the Raquel does bring some fresh blood to the division, and you want to book for the future. And Alexa Bliss, Bailey, Charlotte, those aren't booking for the future. And I think Raquel does. They just need to be better with making her look like that Batista style killer, man.
That's right. The person she was in NXT.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. All right, Bill. Thank you so much, my man. As always, it's always fun talking to you.
Yeah, and I can't wait to get with you in Detroit for SummerSlam.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. There's a comment from my guy Rowling. Raquel Rodriguez beats Rhea Ripley for the title WrestleMania 40. I am totally fine with that. That's for sure, man.
I just don't see any. I just see Rhea not losing that title at all at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's we've got 9 months, a little under 9 months before Mania. So I mean, 9 months can really if they are really like serious about building a star, use this 9 months to build a star. Don't just don't go back to the well of older people who we've seen before. I mean, if you want to build an LA Knight, if you want to build a Damian Priest, if you want to build a Raquel Rodriguez, 9 months. that's a long time.
But remember though, LA Knight's been around a long time.
Yeah, I mean, he's been around for a long time, but not in WWE land.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
Bill After, let them know about the After's Alley after chat.
The after chat, you can catch me on Tuesday. Usually, we tape on Tuesday nights with Teddy Long and Mac Davis, and I'm on that show regularly. And a lot of after chats. Thank you all for all the hundreds and thousands of people that tuned into my interviews with Sergeant Slaughter and Natalia, and there'll be a lot more coming.
Yeah. All right, my man. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for
Time Machine. That's what I was trying to say.
Yes, the Wrestling Time Machine. Thank you for visiting us on location, and I will see you next week, my man.
Yeah, and I can't tell anybody what's going to go on in Detroit with us just yet.
Yes,
we'll see you at the matches.
Indeed. So long.